Hello and welcome back to Crypto Lion. We're here to serve you with the latest cryptocurrency news and predictions. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bell so that we can alert you as soon as we have a new video here. You don't want to miss out on the important news that can determine market movements. In this video, we'll be talking about Anthony Pompliano's prediction about Bitcoin. He predicts that Bitcoin will sell at a whopping $1 million. The Morgan Creek Digital partner is obviously a staunch believer in Bitcoin. But how is this possible? Let's consider this together. In an interview with Stansberry Research, the co-founder and partner at hedge fund Morgan Creek Digital divulges his modest 2021 Bitcoin price prediction as well as his very bullish long-term prediction for the flagship digital asset. As for his 2021 price target, Pompliano stands by his 2019 Bitcoin forecast, in which he estimated that Bitcoin would reach $100,000 by December 31st, 2021. Even if the prediction appears conservative compared to some other bets circulating around the crypto world. According to him, there is no digital product that replaced an analog product and failed to become bigger than it. The question, he said, is how much bigger is it going to be with Bitcoin? It's worth noting it isn't just working as a replacement for gold, but is also being used as a replacement for cash by corporations looking to hedge against potential inflation and currency debasement. Pompliano said that corporations buying Bitcoin in the near future are going to create a wall of demand that people aren't accounting for. Right now, only Wall Street institutions are showing up, he said. As Bitcoiners aren't selling, there's an imbalance between supply and demand that's led to Bitcoin's price rise. Bitcoin has traded above $41,000 at a new all-time high. The price looked like it would not stop rising after it broke through the 20,000 mark late last year. Pompliano cautioned, however, there will be volatility over time, and drops of 25 to 30% are expected and can either be rapid or prolonged. He also said that Bitcoin will have a market cap equal to that of gold and that he's being overly conservative and this could happen by 2030. Social Capital CEO and former Facebook executive Chamath Palihapitiya was an early Bitcoin investor. He bought a lot of the cryptocurrency back in 2013 when the Bitcoin price was around $80 per coin. And he claims that at one point he owned around 5% of the entire Bitcoin monetary base. In a recent discussion with Morgan Creek Digital partner Anthony Pompliano, he shared his views on the current state of the global economy and government's different options for getting things back on track. Additionally, he explained how Bitcoin could stand to gain from the major economic crisis of the 2020s. Although he thinks Bitcoin is still too volatile for mass adoption today, he believes the chances for Bitcoin to succeed as a global reserve currency have increased over the past few months. When first asked for his thoughts on Bitcoin in the context of the currently unfolding global economic problems, he pointed out that Bitcoin is not ready for prime time as it exists today. He noted that it's still a speculative instrument, and it's too speculative for it to be reliable, saying that if you're going to make the case that it should replace fiat currency, one thing you have to look at is the volatility of the US dollar. You can't replace it with something that's 9 sigma more volatile. It doesn't work. He added that traditional fiat currencies are critical pillars of how businesses operate today due to the relative stability. In his view, Bitcoin's volatility is a crutch that is holding it back from further adoption. Extreme volatility pushes Bitcoin into this ghetto of day traders and speculators, according to him. And right now, we're in that ghetto. In his view, the day traders and speculators must be flushed out in order for Bitcoin to get out of the ghetto of volatile assets. Additionally, the interest of long-term holders must be maintained, and the potential for the traditional financial infrastructure to implode must appear increasingly likely. The good news for Bitcoin holders is that, according to him, the existing financial system looks much weaker than it did just a few months ago. He said that we are driving, slowly but we're driving, towards a cliff, and then we're going to drive much, much faster down that cliff or down that hill. And at the end of it is a huge brick wall. According to him, the world will have to choose between inflation and removing inefficiencies in the economy once we run into that brick wall. He also thinks that the path dependence for Bitcoin is if it looks like debasement is likely, it will really emerge as a safety option. The former Facebook executive noted that this move towards a brick wall will take 10 years to take shape. Like many others, he sees Bitcoin as a binary investment, and in his view, these price swings in the thousands of dollars don't matter in the grand scheme of things. In the case where a single Bitcoin is worth $1 million or more, he sees the cryptocurrency as the basis for a quasi-gold standard, where the hard money is held by everyone rather than central banks. He thinks the probability of this scenario playing out in the real world has recently increased. He said that if the probability was 1% that Bitcoin would be valuable, unfortunately the probability now is like 5 or 10%. And there's a real chance that by 2030, we don't find a way to inflate our way out of this. The only way to break the back of inflation is essentially to create some quasi-form of a gold standard. But it'll be almost impossible to do that between governments and central banks. They'll never agree on an instrument, and they'll never agree on an exchange rate. But then, bottoms up, people could decide to do it with Bitcoin. On the other hand, Tesla CEO Elon Musk recently shared his view that he doesn't think Bitcoin will become the primary database for money. Additionally, billionaire investor Ray Dalio agrees with the negative thesis around fiat currencies, but he thinks gold will be a better option for those searching for a safe haven. In terms of potential price movement in 2020, BitPay's Vinny Singh predicted the crypto asset would hit a new all-time high above $20,000 by the end of the year back in January. A report from around the same time indicated that more financial advisors were planning to add Bitcoin and other crypto assets to their clients' portfolios this year. Some other people share Pompliano's idea that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million. One of them is Clem Chambers, a Forbes columnist, who also said that he has come to the conclusion that Bitcoin is even going to hit $1 million soon because of the current economical issues. He cited that the second virus wave is already apparently shaping up and countries are unlocking at a pace that might go on into the autumn and perhaps will take even a year or two to revert to a status where economic activity can fully recover. Is the timetable for a return to normal levels of economic activity going to allow state expenditures to continue at anywhere near old levels? It's hard to imagine it will, while it's easy to imagine a biblical outcome. He is of the opinion that giving out millions of new money is the classic answer to such chronic straits, so Bitcoin to $1 million could happen in short order in such circumstances, and in real terms, that might be only a few multiples higher in purchasing power. Right now, there are only about 18 million Bitcoins, with a maximum of 21 million. And if any major economy or group of minor countries melted down into hyperinflation, that alone would drive crypto into orbit in dollars. So while the halvening chips away towards higher prices for Bitcoin, there's an inflation bomb ticking away that in short months will quickly resolve its probabilities. Some other high-profile individuals have also made such predictions as well. Most notably, Raoul Pal, the former Goldman Sachs hedge fund manager. He stated in an interview with Stansberry Research that an enormous wall of money could pour into the cryptocurrency. Pal believes that this wave could see Bitcoin hitting 7 figures in 5 years' time. We've all seen what virtual currencies can do by now, therefore it wouldn't be right to dismiss outlandish forecasts offhand. But I'm sure you'll agree, there's a big difference between Bitcoin hitting $100,000 versus $1 million. Yet, when we analyze the Bitcoin chart against a logarithmic scale, where the emphasis is on magnitude of change, not nominal price changes, the dynamic to support much higher prices doesn't seem unreasonable. Rather than an asset that shoots straight to the moon after years of sideways trading, we see a gradual progression followed by a corrective phase. Critically, the period between September 2014 to now, roughly 6.3 years, featured Bitcoin growing at a compound annual growth rate of a little over 88%. Apply that same 88% compound annual growth rate to the following 6.3-year period, and you get a $1.17 million price tag in early spring 2027. While it's not sure that history will repeat itself, it is worthwhile to mention this. This chart shows the path Bitcoin's price is expected to go through to $1 million by 2030. This would imply that 1 cent will be equal to 1 Satoshi. Some worst-case scenarios are also depicted on the chart where 1 Bitcoin can be worth $100, or $1,000, or $10,000. That's illustrated with the red dotted line, but that will be some huge retrogression. The halving of the coin is expected to contribute immensely to the increase of Bitcoin price, as shown in the chart as well. Anthony Pompliano has predicted a huge price for Bitcoin in the long term, but it's also important for people to do their own research before they invest into Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is very volatile, and that is why it's always advisable to use funds meant for investment and not money that will be necessary for your livelihood or survival. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you liked it and found it informative. Kindly click the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Let us know what you think about this massive prediction in the comments section. Good luck and happy investing.